Okay, so what I wanted to chat about today, this evening, is I want to talk about the nodes of the moon and where they are. Well, I've talked about it before. um, and it depends upon when you're watching this. So, for instance, okay, so I want to talk about healthy detachment. I really, really want to talk about that because that is so important during these next 18 months is where are we going to look at a situation that is negative. Maybe it's a situation that makes us mad, makes us feel hurt. Um, Maybe it's a situation where you just don't feel comfortable. There's negative energy. People are not getting along. There's conflict. Um, just whatever it is. And it is not about, pointing the finger and, blaming others. It is about really stepping in you know, your own self. What can I do to break out of this? What can I do to get out of this? What can I do to escape this? Which can come from, you know, healthy detachment. Um, and so South Node in Scorpio is all of that stuff, all of those negative, toxic situations, all of those power struggles, all of the crisis, all of the trauma, all of the drama, all of the um, secrets, all of the trust and jealousy, and just, yeah, I mean, there's so many things, but it's all negative, it's all bad, it's all um, just the darker sides to people and to relationships. And the the nodes of the moon are really, really going to be reflecting that. And we have the opportunity to really take a look at that, naturally take a look at it in our own lives and just observe, these types of situations where we feel like, we're getting down into the darker sides of the South Node and where we need to um, break out of the darker sides and move into the higher sides, higher vibration of the South Node, and thereby following that northern star, heading to the North Node. And certainly, I can see this in my own life. Um, Without getting too into the details, I did have a situation today where a teacher was um, explaining, you know, to a student who did not understand um, this or that, who struggled to understand, and time again, these things have been happening where, there's been getting into trouble and then, all this and that. And I want to leave it pretty vague and pretty general because I know naturally what's right, what is wrong, what to and what not to expose. So, point being is, um, I sat in this room and I tried to focus on other things, um, you know, stay out of it, all of these types of things, stay um, really in balance, and doing other things on my computer and this and that. But it was so dominant, and it happened time and time again, where it was difficult to break out of it. It was difficult to, do something else. It was difficult to, um, just detach from that in a healthy way. Now, North Node and Taurus is about you, um, your truth, your, um, you know, what would make you happy, what would be right for you. That does not involve all of that negative, South Node and Scorpio things, which involves situations, especially negative situations, especially conflict and hardships between other people. And today has really been it's been a reflection of that, like other days. And it was kind of difficult to think of a topic for a live stream just because there's just so much feeling. There's so much emotion. There's so many things, but it just could not express it enough. And this is, really a a big thing. And when, as when, you're not involved in the situation and you don't need to be involved, you don't want to be involved, it's negative energy. Um, it is just not your side of the street to clean up, where there's a lot of just difficulty um, and maybe it's empathy overload. It could possibly be sorrow. It could be anger. It could be frustration. It could be disappointment. It can be really, really lowering the mood and lowering your mood and getting down to that sort of place of um, just, having that need, that natural need to get up and walk away from the situation, detach from the situation, um, get some air. Um, take a break because what if you can't stand to be there? What if you can't stand to hear, um, overhear the conversation, overhear the people chatting in that situation? It's just so hard. And yet you remain in that situation. And, it's okay. We don't always think of things all the time. But as a new resolution, when those moments occur, it takes that detachment. It takes that, you know, discipline because I could be, just think about it. Every time these things happen to me or these things happen to you, you can get on and do, live stream after live stream after live stream. But no, you don't need to be brought down into feeling these feelings and being in those feelings. Now it is time to detach from all of those feelings and getting out of that and getting out of the attraction to being in those feelings, to being in those situations and starting new, and you having the independent variable, because there's an independent variable in this. The independent variable is the variable that I can control, that I have control over. And the independent variable in this situation is I have the choice. I can make the choice in my mind, in my truth, that I am not going to engage in the situation. You know, if you're, working on someone, this incident is going on, you need a place to focus, you need a place to, um, so that you can worry about what is most important for you and what will benefit you and what will make you feel content, at peace, grounded, um, without being in a situation where you're just in and inundated and um, just um, having that situation all around you, which can involve some um, you know indoctrination of others, bringing you down to certain places and certain feelings and emotions, which it's not about being hypocritical, like trying to change those feelings, like why am I feeling this way about this person? Why? And it's okay to ask those questions, but you know, there's just a knowing and there's just a trust that you feel those feelings about others and for others for good reasons. Those are just what you naturally feel. And um and it's knowing that. It is taking note of that and, going, no, that is not the vibration that I want to be brought down. That's not the reality. Um, that's not the, um, you know, just that sort of whirlpool that I want to be sucked into. Um, So, but the thing about this whirlpool is that it's not strong enough to where you can choose to get out of this. And once you do, and once you detach, and once you healthily detach from it, then you're going to probably feel, more grounded, really, focusing on other things, getting your mind off of this, worrying about you, worrying about the things that you need and being productive getting something efficient done, doing things which are more a better use of your time, a better use of your ears and energy rather than, dwelling, 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 and venting, venting, and venting, to the point where you're doing things that maybe, and you'll know when, okay, it's time to be productive and try to do things that, you know, um, are for you, you know, like, would be better for you. Being in peace, being in abundance, in pleasure, content, no need to get sucked into all of those emotions. It's breaking out of all that baggage, all of that negative stuff. Uh, you know, either just you or just either just externally. In this case, it would be external to me. Um, and so that's the sort of thing is that it just would be drawing your boundaries and it would be freeing because there are ways you're going to find there's so many ways, hopefully, of getting yourself out of these situations, of escaping, of detaching, and take advantage of that when the time should come, when you feel those feelings. A recommendation, just a recommendation, invitation to you to, to take advantage. Um, and, do those things. You don't have to be in on that. Um, there are other um, quests, there are better quests, and, you know, it just takes the initiative to stand up, walk away. And so the next topic that I want to talk to you about is really making it clear what habits that you want to establish. Really, an honesty with habits. Because, there's so many habits that we have. Um, you know, I might have the habit of um, picking flakes or, picking my faces. And, you know, it just takes something. Maybe it's a rubber band, just maybe just you putting that rubber band on and then, you snap it. Well, that is, that's going to hurt and that's going to decrease the habit of doing that, decrease that sort of habit pattern. Um, And so, really being honest, that this is not what I want to do. I want to start fresh. I want to, break out of those negative habits. I don't want to do these things again. I don't want to continue to repeat these habits, which I have, um, kind of like a broken record, kind of, what you've been doing and what you have been going back to. Um, and you know, it's stopping that for the betterment. And no need, it's okay if you feel this, but no need, this is what I'm going to say. If there is guilt, allow yourself to feel the feelings of guilt because that is part of it. And, you live and you learn every day. And I am no expert. Nobody's an expert. but it's not the resistant to the guilt. It is letting the guilt be there and choosing, you know, "I I'm not gonna do this again. I am not gonna do this again," and surrendering to, whatever. And maybe a situation is perception. Um, maybe, you viewing something in this way at this time, is not the reality of it, or there is a better way to look at it, a better state to be in, um, you know, at the current time, and or um, in the future, you know. But it does start with now, oh, I'm gonna, start this habit. I'm gonna break out of this sometime or another. So, it does take sometimes, it takes, that, initiative and that, um, you know, real honesty and commitment going, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna, get myself into the habit of doing this thing that I honestly don't want to do, because then I feel this guilt afterward. Then I feel these types of feelings. And so, if you would feel those types of feelings, then it's probably not the thing that you want to keep repeating and repeating and repeating, and doing and doing and doing, over and over, and not making the choice to change it, to alter it, to better it, to start on a new path, to do, this and that, to break out of this, all these types of things. So, whatever has gone on, it's the past, it happened. What's done is done, water under the bridge. What is in the now? What can you change in the now? In the now, to better the now, to, better the future. Um, and so, the power does lie in the now. Um, so, uh, is there anything else, um, that I should talk about? So, power lies in the now. Um, and, some things, sometimes we have these moments where we feel this feeling, where we feel this sort of, wake up call to do something else, to start again. It's trusting that the situation isn't wrong, that the thing did not happen, and you're good, and, um, you know, I guess, um, it's another chance, and no need for the continual going back on the guilt, on the blame, on the self-sabotage. Yet be in that guilt feeling, really, really, releasing all of those things, being, um, i- in the feelings. And, honestly, you will know in your own experience. You will just know. Because there's so many ways I could explain this or that. Now, I want to be realistic. If you would, you know, throw a phone multiple times, for instance. Well, a phone, um, you know, can either work or it is, um, or it breaks where you just can't get it to work. Um, and so, it can depend upon if you're throwing it, what is the surface that it lands upon? What does it hit on the way to that surface? All those types of things. Um, and it's hard because those feelings can really, really come up. Um, those sort of, oh, I can't describe those feelings of the situation being less, of being, um, just, um, where it feels less than, or this sort of perception. And um, it does take sometimes, again, I'm not going to do this habit. I'm not going to repeat this habit. I am possibly, um, going to control, you know, whatever impulse that I have that will lead me to feel these feelings, that will lead this thing to, um, have a potential, for getting hurt, for, breaking all of these types of things. Um, and it's not about denying the reality of what happened in a situation. It is about coming to terms with it by, um, accepting the situation, accepting what happened, that this is not, that nothing happened to this. It was intact and this and that. And it's about naturally, um, learning from it. Um, and there is a moving on. And it can be hard to, be in those guilt feelings. Um, it can be difficult, um, to feel that. But sometimes that is, a part of being human. We all do things that sometimes that we don't intend or we don't plan to do. We just do things off the cuff without even thinking about it because we feel, a certain emotion. You know, raise your hand if you've done something where you've, thrown, and this is just generic, very generic, where you've, you know, threw a phone or, um, you know, accidentally dropped something and it, got hurt. Threw something, or whatever, bumped your glasses and it hurt. Raise your hand. Oh, look, everyone's raising their hand. Every single person is raising their hand. So, um, trying to think if there's anything else. Um, no, I don't think that there is. Thank you for tuning in. Like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell.